Good evening, everyone. My name is Junior Galobo. I'm a student at Catholic University. I will be doing a small presentation about the benefits of the death penalty. I have my audience over here, Miss Amber, Miss Junior, Miss Maida, and Mr. Jose. They will be attending, learning a little bit from the topic. History of the death penalty. The death penalty came from the 17th century. It was used mainly as punishment and had no laws to follow. The death penalties were based on different colonies. Some colony kills for crimes as small as stealing, disturbance at night in the city, or trading with Indians. So the death penalty was just some type of punishment, not trying to deter crime, it was just to hurt somebody. The first book of rules or regulations came in the 18th century BC with the Code of King Hammurabi of Babylon. That one was the first book that gave you all the rules and regulations to follow in order to execute somebody when they committed a crime. It was not just killing somebody just because we feel like it. The first recorded death penalty was in the 16th century BC when a man was accused of magic and was ordered to take his own life. The Romans and the European countries adopted the death penalty, and England actually encouraged the U.S. to use it to deter crime. During this time, some of the sentences were torturing, drowning, crucifixion, and even drinking poison. It's pretty hardcore. Capital punishment. Capital punishment is the authorization of killing someone who committed a large or horrendous crime. The U.S., when it comes to worldwide, the U.S. ranked 5th on most executions behind China, Iraq, Iran, and Saudi Arabia. So we're pretty high when it comes to execution and inmates on death row. China has always had the largest or highest rate of execution, and they have an execution per year, the most per year in the whole world. In 2015, there were approximately 2,400 inmates executed in China, and that was just through some type of research because China keeps all the executions. They keep them hidden, so nobody really knows what they have. It's a secret. Capital offenses. There are about 25 total crimes that can put you on death row and get punished under the crime capital punishment. Some of those are espionage, treason, and first-degree murder. Anything that has to do with murder will push you there as a first-degree murder. Types of death penalty or executions. The lethal injection is the one that's the most used today. Since 1976, there have been about 1,262 inmates executed under the lethal injection. The electrocution over the chair, electrical chair, since 1976, there have been 158 cases of execution. The firing squad, only used in Oklahoma and Utah. There have only been 3 since 1976. Lethal gas or the gas chamber is only used in 4 states: Arizona, Wyoming, Missouri, and California. There have only been 3 of those conducted since 1976. Hanging, only used in Delaware, New Hampshire, and Washington. 11 of those cases, believe it or not, have been used since 1976. Each of the states got different ones, so they'll choose exactly what they can use. And believe it or not, the inmates, if they have more than one type of execution, the inmates can choose which one they want. So if a state got a lethal injection on the electrical chair, the inmate can say he wants one or the other one. Inmate released from death row. Over 150 inmates have been exonerated and released from death row, believe it or not. These are inmates that have been proven not guilty and they have been able to beat their case and come out. So they have either been released from prison or they have been lowered the sentence to either a life sentence or a certain amount of years. But in total, there have been almost 2,000 inmates executed since 1976.
Do you know of any of the inmates that got exonerated wound up back in jail?
Actually, yes. There was a case in 1997, and a man named Timothy McKinney. He was put in death row for killing an undercover cop. And what happened was, Mr. Timothy McKinney went to a club. It was a VIP entrance only, and he decided he wanted to crash the club. Undercover police officer told him he couldn't be there. He got really disorderly and stuff, bad conduct. So he said he was gonna come back and shoot the club down and kill anybody that was around. So they called law enforcement on him. Law enforcement came. Police tried to arrest him. They gave him a little break since he started acting normal. So they told him, hey, it's about Christmas time. You know, we don't want to take you to jail right now. Hard times. So we'll give you a break. Just go home and relax. So he said he was going to do that. And instead of going home, he actually came back and shot one of the two undercover cops working at the door in the club. Now, he was not caught right there in the moment. The other undercover cops seen him fleeing the scene, and that's how they knew who it was. So the man was put in death row. He actually served 10 years in death row and 5 in regular prison, state prison. After 15 years in prison, he was released from death row. Sorry about that. He was released from death row because the case did not have enough physical evidence. He was just an eyewitness, and they felt like he did not have a fair case, even after 15 years. The man was released, and less than 2 years later, he was involved in a shooting with a teenager, and was put right back in prison to serve the rest of his time. So that's just one of the cases that inmates, they give him a second chance from being on death row, killing already, they give him another chance, he came back, did the same thing. So that's how you know a lot of those guys, they don't deserve it. The life of inmates on death row and general prison. General population inmates are offered many incentives that cost taxpayers a lot of money. So people, regular people, all of us, they pay a lot of money to keep this inmate behind bars, believe it or not. All inmates are provided 3 meals per day. They get mattresses, pillows, a cell so they can sleep on, blankets, toilet paper, toothpaste, soap, daily living supplies that is required. All that money comes from regular taxpayers. States pay for it, and they basically get everything for free inside. They actually get offer educational services. They can obtain their GED to have their high school diploma, and different other vocational stuff. Inside the prison, believe it or not, they have a store. They can go buy canteen items, whether it's dental stuff, hygiene things, etc. They have free dental, medical, and mental health care, which is provided for them anytime they need it. An average cost per inmate is from $25,000 to $16,000 depending on the state. So that's a lot of money that comes from everybody's pocket. Civilians living outside paying for these inmates to be safe in prison. Now the death row inmates are being held in single cells, contrast with regular inmates in state prison. They got the 2-man cells. They also provide meals and every other thing that regular inmates obtain. The only difference is they got stricter policies, visitation and movement outside the cells. The cost of an inmate on death row is much higher than other inmates depending on the state and facility. Each death row inmate costs taxpayers $90,000 more bucks than a regular inmate. So that's a lot of money. Definitely too much. Death row by race and gender. When it comes to separating each race between blacks, Hispanics, and whites, we can see that blacks have a 43% of inmates on death row, whites have a 44%, and Hispanic have a 10%. So it's a big increase from the black and whites to the Hispanics. When it comes to women, it's only 2% on death row population as women. So that's actually pretty good. Not a lot of them go to death row. But men in general, there's too many of them behind bars. And a lot of them spend many years behind bars, and nothing happens. Just money getting wasted on the inmate to keep them safe after they're being conducting many different horrendous crimes. Benefits of the death penalty. The study has shown that for every execution, it deters 18 murders. So every inmate that get executed on the death penalty, about 18 different murders have been avoided. So it helps. By raising the death penalty by 1%, it prevents about 105 murders. So if the death penalty will come up a little more, crime will get a little more, starting to go down, and it will deter. Why? Why should people be in favor of the death penalty? Okay, so I'm a sergeant for the Department of Corrections, so I work with inmates firsthand. I know how the inmates are. I know how they can be behind bars. They act way different than everybody else outside. They can be one way over here on the street. Behind bars, they become way different person. Way different person. A lot of these guys, they go behind bars and all they want to do is just keep committing crimes. So they be behind bars doing drugs, extortion. They keep punishing other people. They take advantage of the weak guys inside. And they even commit murder inside. So a lot of them get caught, a lot of them don't get caught. So they keep living their life behind bars, living the same life they had outside, and even making it worse. So the death penalty could deter crime if it's enforced and it's shown. So people cannot be behind bars just sitting in there, getting all this money for the taxpayer, using them inside for all the benefits, and they spend 15, 20 years behind bars and nothing happens to them. Maybe a technicality on the report comes out, they beat the case, they get out. Guess what? They come right back out to kill again. So, people should think about it and be in favor of it. Okay, well, that's enough, guys. Hope you guys learn a little bit. Thank you. Stay safe and be in favor of the death penalty. Thank you.